It's Q&A time. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. We've got a really good question today because I bet a lot of people that don't even want to admit it have been in this spot before. So this person will remain nameless so we can protect the guilty. This is from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and here's a little question that's written. Dear Barbara, many of our managers have been on the same site for many years. For example, at my community, my assistant and myself have been here 6+ years. In our day-to-day routine, we sometimes can get in a rut and forget about the big picture. We can get burnt out and our attitudes can use some adjustment. So great question out of Tulsa. We really appreciate that, and we appreciate the honesty. So to answer this question, I referred back to an article that I wrote a couple of years ago, but I really liked the advice that was given in there. And so I want to talk a little bit about what happens in our employment phase. When we first start a job, you're in what we call the honeymoon phase. And you guys know what the honeymoon phase is. That's where you're excited to go to work, you pick your outfit, you pick what you're going to do for that day, you have new ideas, you feel fresh. It's kind of like when you first start dating your husband or your wife, and you're so excited, you plan what you're going to wear, you make sure that you're fresh and clean and you smell good and everything's good. Well, fast forward a few years and what happens with work and sometimes with relationships. Well, sometimes you get to the stage where you're in the over it phase, where you're just over it. It's lost the excitement, it's lost the appeal. Maybe you're in a rut and it's not exciting anymore. But when that happens to you at work, you're in trouble because we still have to stay fresh, and we don't want to do something that we don't love, right? We spend more time sometimes at work than we do with our own family, so we should love what we do. So how do we fix it? Well, let me share with you some of the points from this article. So the first thing to think about is that your attitude is your brand. That's what people think about. So when I say McDonald's, you think Golden Arches or crispy, delicious, salty French fries. When I say Tiffany's, you think of that little blue box of happiness, right? Well, what do people think of when they say your name? What does your personal brand say about you? If you don't like what it brings to mind, then it's time to change it. Number 2, Henry Ford is a genius. He said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So again, it's about adjusting your attitude. Sometimes that's all it takes, is saying, hey, why did I get into this business in the first place? What was it that I loved about it? Now, number 3 is a little kind of a funny one. It's about Albert Einstein. And Albert Einstein said that insanity was doing the same thing over and over again, but you expect different results. So stop being insane. If you're doing the same thing every day, you're not going to be excited. You're not going to be passionate, and you're not going to have the response and the feeling that you used to have. So do things different. Take a different route to work. Kind of flip your day around. Use your peak hours to do the things that you love. Get into marketing. Get into the social media. Go walk the property. Do those things that you used to do when you first started in the business. And then decide who you want to be and dress the part. You know, one of my biggest and favorite things to do is when I'm kind of in a rut, go buy a new outfit, go buy a new pair of shoes. Dress for the part that you want, not the part that you currently have. Sometimes that's all it takes to feel invigorated and alive again. When you look good, you feel good, right? So kind of figure out what your end goal is and dress the part and act the part. And lastly, don't settle. You know, settling means to put up with or to make do. Who of us wants to settle? If you're truly not happy, it might be time for a change. But more times than not, it's just that we've stopped doing the things that we love. And so get out of your rut, get into your groove, find that love you once had, and I promise you, maybe you won't get back to that, oh my God, honeymoon phase, but you will get into a very comfortable, excited, happy place, and you'll find that love that you had for your job once again. So that's it for now. Thanks, Tulsa, and we hope that you can find that love that you once had. And go out and buy a new pair of shoes. And join me next week for Q&A Wednesday.